the party master on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.
It's Friday! Good morning, my people. My people, my people. How are you all doing today? Friday's here. It's the start of the weekend. And we're going to make your morning come alive right here on Up and Go on The Bridge 99 FM to the world. What are our frequencies? Let me remind you, 99.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9 on the FM band. We're also streaming around the world at www.thebridge99fm.com. DJ Audley is in the building, obviously. Jody's in the building, and so is Richard Rainford. My name is Richie B. Good morning and welcome. You know, October is acknowledged as Disability Awareness Month all through October. And we have a guest this morning who happens to be the first blind person to attain a music degree in Jamaica. Not only that, she had one of the most popular songs in the JCDC Festival Song Competition earlier this year. I think her song was titled Birthday Bash. And this morning we have her as one of our guests on the program to share with us during this month, Disability Awareness Month, how she has managed to overcome some of the challenges of being blind and pursuing a music career. We're pleased to invite and to welcome Candy Isaacs to Up and Go this morning. Good morning, Candy.
Good morning, Richie B. How are you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations, first of all, and on several fronts. Even amidst your situation of being blind, you successfully completed your degree in music. What can you tell us about? Yes, that's fantastic. A fantastic achievement, Candy. I want to big it up, because I really feel good. Tell us about that journey, though. How challenging was it for you?
I would call it bittersweet. I had my down times. I had my times where I said, well, this is it. Close to the end. But with God's help, I was able to overcome. I had a beautiful support system. I have a mom who pushed me to say, my girl, come. You can do this. You can do this.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I had my tears. I had my laughs. I had my, happy moments and all of that. So it was really, really a bittersweet experience, but I managed.
You made it to the end.
I made it to the end.
And that is really something we ought to celebrate. So are you using what you learned on those courses in your daily life, or is that the plan? Yes, I am. It has made me stronger. Mm-hmm. The courses, yes, that I did when I was at Edna Blindly, it has made me really stronger. I have developed a wider appreciation for music. Mm-hmm. Where usually I used to just prefer one genre of music, but no, I have developed a wider appreciation for music. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So during the course itself, you'd have had to. Is it a case where special arrangements were made for you to facilitate your learning? How did that part of it go? Special arrangement, not necessarily. No. Because I want others listening out there to understand that it can be done. So just give us a little walkthrough. Yes, it can be. Particularly when you're doing your exams. I had what is called an amanuensis, someone who reads and writes for you. Okay. Yes. So that part we had to make special arrangements where my exams were concerned. Taking notes. As long as you have a digital device, or even your phone, your digital recorder, you will be able to manage. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about your talent. I think I saw you in performance during the festival song events, and you seem to have quite a range. I mean, how many octaves do you sing in?
I've never really explored that.
Really? Because you took some very high notes. and you slid on them so easily, like effortlessly.
Oh,
Come on, Candy. Where did you get this talent from? Was it from mommy, from daddy, who?
I think music was born within me.
Uh-huh.
My mom told me that my grandfather, he was an excellent singer. And then I understand that some persons on my dad's side of the family were awesome singers as well. So I'd call it that I got it full blown, that talent. Yes.
Give us a little overview as to what your experience was like in the JCDC competition. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was an awesome journey. It stretched me though, but I enjoyed it. Had my moments where I said, well, am I really doing this? Is this really me?
But your song turned out to be quite popular. Did you write it yourself, Birthday Bash?
Yes, I did. I penned it myself.
Okay, cool. And are you writing other material? What's up with the music career now? Are you busy recording? Where is it at?
Well, right now it's at a standstill. COVID is keeping. So,
Still a keep.
It's still a keep, right? So COVID affects the entertainment industry, as we all are aware. So right now, as it is, I'm just trying to write.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just trying to write. I want to do some recording, but you know it already.
Takes time, and it will happen. The important thing is you have material. And do you write for other artists? I mean, has that ever crossed your mind?
It has never crossed my mind. No, I haven't.
All right.
But that's a thought.
Think about it.
You're giving me ideas, no?
Yeah, think about that, Candy, as you go through. You mean material for yourself and for other artists. It can be quite beneficial.
It can be.
As we are in fact inside of Disability Awareness Month, though, I wanted to ask you, Candy Isaacs, what do you think can be done to sort of create more, shall we say, awareness and even compassion for persons with disabilities in Jamaica?
Whew. That is something I'd have to do some deep thought. Okay, so it was only yesterday I had an experience where I attended this funeral, and the church was packed, but I had to be outside. So my mom said to the person, "Can you allow her to just sit even by the door, considering that she has a disability?" And he said no. He said no. Now, I'm saying this to say that we need to make special arrangements for persons with disability. Even though we're observing social distancing and all of that,
Yes.
we need to put a particular space to say, okay, this particular space belongs to persons with disability, right?
Yeah.
Take the bank, for example. When you go to the bank, you see a section that says senior citizens or persons with disability, right? That's your section. You can go there. You can sit. We're not asking for pity, don't get it wrong.
I hear you clearly, yes.
Put things in place, right, to accommodate us. Right.
Nothing wrong with that suggestion. In fact, I endorse it, and we hope that the powers that be and those who are in positions that can impact positively your own experiences as persons with disabilities will hear and will accede to those calls. I'm getting a message from two persons since I started this interview, and they're saying, Richie, you need to hear her sing a little something a cappella.
No!
Candy laugh. I know it's early in the morning. I don't know if you were prepared for this, but I really don't want to complete this interview without hearing you sing a line or two, maybe, of one of your songs. Honestly speaking, would you oblige?
Hello, I just wake up and
I feel good. So you don't have to sing a whole lot, but a line or two. Let's just hear that rich, beautiful voice for going a cappella. Ladies and gentlemen, we're putting her on the spot, but she'll oblige, I'm sure. 15 now past 7 o'clock. Let's hear a little something from Candy Isaacs.
I am more than what you see. There's a great person in me. Everywhere that I go, I will make this be known. There's a giant who lives in me.
Let's hear it for Candy Isaacs, ladies and gentlemen. Watch them ask for encore. No encore phone this morning. I'm too greedy. Candy, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for talking with us. Where can you be found?
Thank you so much for having me.
It has been my pleasure. Where can you be found on social media? Do you have those portals all up and running?
Yes, I'm on social media as Camila Candy Isaacs, Instagram. That's K-I-M-I-E-L-A, Candy, as in C-A-N-D-Y. No sweet candy around here. Isaacs, I-S-A-A-C-S. And I'm also on Facebook as Camila Candy Isaacs Music.
All right. Listen, as soon as you get your next record together, send it over to us and we'll give you some support, all right?
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Much love, Candy. Take care. Have a great day. My regards to you and your family.
Thank you so much, and the very same to you.
All right. That was a chat with Candy Isaacs, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Quite inspirational stuff. And she's blind, but she's definitely moving forward and upward in this journey of life. She has completed her music degree at Edna Manley College, and she's a recording artist. Recently entered the JCDC Festival Song Competition. And right now, we have a couple of things that I want to be talking about. I have a guest, actually, who I'll be talking to momentarily. You must have been noticing what's been going on the industrial relations front. And since around about September of this year, we noted that several organizations here in Jamaica, I can name a few of them, Digicel to be included, NCB, CariMed recently, they have gone about issuing mandatory vaccination policies to their staff members. Recently, we see where some staffers are planning to battle it out in court. And so we wanted to get a perspective this morning from someone involved in the unions here in Jamaica. And we're joined at this time by the island supervisor and acting president of the Workers' Union, Mr. Khurt Fletcher. Good morning, Mr. Fletcher. How are you today?
Good morning, Richie B, and good morning to all your listeners. I'm doing well.
Thank you so much, Khurt, for joining us. What is going on in terms of the various mandatory vaccination policies and so on being issued to staff has not escaped your notice. Are you surprised that it has reached the point now where staffers are deciding to battle things out in court with their employers?
No, we are not. And let me preface these discussions by saying to you and the listeners that I am fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. I have been vaccinated. The trade unions were one of the first persons to lead by example, and we are always promoting the vaccination issue and encouraging people to get vaccinated. However, we draw the line when it comes on to mandatory vaccination. Mm-hmm. Now, to answer your question, it has not been lost on us that people are generally standing up for what they believe and what we believe are their rights in terms of choice. Mm-hmm. We have always been maintaining from the trade union movement that we should go the route of moral suasion. And the fact of the matter is, human beings, especially Jamaicans, anytime that you are trying to impose something on Jamaicans, there is going to be a little bit of backlash. So we thought that the methodology of trying to get people to take the vaccine was one that was a little bit too aggressive. And they would have been meted, and rightly so, being meted with a lot of backlash. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things to be considered when you talk about vaccinations and mandatory vaccinations, especially at work. Primarily, I know a lot of people have been saying that COVID is new and all of that, but certainly everybody that is employed under a contract of employment. Now, during that employment, nobody, rightly so, would not be made aware of COVID. However, if you're going to now implement some policy for people to continue being employed, that would not fall within any contract of employment, whether it be fixed term, permanent, or otherwise. Mm-hmm. So what you would need to do is to have some consultation with the workers and try to get them as best as possible to comply. The other thing is that there are several methods that have been employed so far, even before we had vaccination, that we were doing the social distancing, wearing the mask, sanitizing, that even now is still appropriate and applicable in these instances. And there are some people who, whilst they're uncomfortable at this time, are saying that since you can still get and transmit the virus, mm-hmm. Whether or not you're vaccinated, and all it does, granted, is to significantly reduce the hospitalization or death. Mm-hmm. They're saying that if they're willing to take that chance by just keeping safe with the minimum method, then they should be allowed that as well.
That is an argument that we've been hearing quite a lot. Now, I've spoken to other union representatives on this program before. First time I'm talking with you, Khurt. What is your view within the workers' union? I mean, in clear terms, are you saying that mandatory vaccinations is an illegal move by employers?
Yes, we are. You see, there is no mandate from the government, which would be the one setting the law. That would be the floor position. So then you cannot now go and impose something that infringes on people's rights and call it a policy, call it anything that you want. What we are suggesting is that because we believe that people should be vaccinated, that those policy decisions must be a mutually agreed policy and mutually agreed decisions made by the employer and the employee. In that instance, then it would remove the illegality of it in our mind.
All right. Some of the employers we note are saying if the employees are not going the route of mandatory vaccinations, then they have to provide a PCR test result at their own expense, at least in some instances twice a month. What is the view of the workers' union on that particular approach?
So, Richie B, I say this to you. When you are employed, anything that your employer requires you to do in terms of to carry out your function, it is a responsibility of them to provide. So if they are going to request and mandate that you provide that test, they would be the ones that would be responsible for paying for it. We also have a concern about even people doing the test, because it would seem a little bit discriminatory if all persons, vaccinated or unvaccinated, can transmit, can get that virus. Why isn't it then that you would not be testing everybody? Because it can't be a matter of experience and cost, mm-hmm. because the same risk applies in terms of transmission and catching it, mm-hmm. Maybe not at the same degree.
Yes.
Now, there is another issue that is very fundamental to this, that the workers have been crying out, and we have been supporting them on it. A lot of these business places do not require their customers and do not ask or cannot inquire of their customers whether or not they are vaccinated to be served. Mm-hmm. Now, the duty of care is also for the employer to make sure that their employee are safe from external people.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a little bit, people are saying, okay, then you're requiring me to be vaccinated, but the people who we are serving, you can't even ask them if they're vaccinated, and all that you do is to take the temperature test, allow them to be sanitized, and tell them that you can't come into my place unless you're wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in time do they say to them, we're not selling you anything, we're not providing this service because you are not vaccinated.
Those are some strong and valid arguments that you're putting forward, Khurt. It really requires a lot of even deeper thought, and I'm sure that these are the arguments that you'll be using when you have reason to represent your workers, so to speak, in this time, eh?
Yes, certainly.
In closing, what do you want to say to the employees generally out there, even those that you represent and even others?
Well, the first thing that I would say to the employees is that I believe in the science. We've been always going to doctors. We've been prescribed with many things that we've been taking them without even any hesitation because we want relief from anything. So the first thing that I'm saying to them is I'm encouraging them to do whatever is necessary to protect themselves at this point in time. What is available out there are the vaccines, whatever education that they think they should get around it. Don't go through too much the social media and the hysteria around things. Try to get proper information to inform yourselves. And then I would say to them, they ought not to feel that they're bullied by their employers to be vaccinated. And there is always recourse. We see now the workers at CariMed. And as a matter of fact, I would say to them, go and join yourself a trade union. Come to the National Workers Union or any other trade union, because what we do is protect the rights and advance the issues of all employees. Right now, they ought not to be daunted whether or not there is a trade union or not. About this mandatory vaccination, because there is recourse that they can have. There are several legal persons out there who would gladly take on these cases, because these cases will end up being landmark cases in Jamaica.
Yes.
Right? So I would say to them that they could just contact a trade union if there is the case that they are being forced.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll be guided accordingly.
Okay. Khurt Fletcher from the National Workers Union, Island Supervisor and Acting President, we thank you for your thoughts and we wish you a great day today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richie B, and keep safe.
Yeah, man, you too.
Distance.
All right, bless up. All right, a chat there with Mr. Khurt Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen, from the National Workers Union. He's the Island Supervisor and the Acting President, and he gave his thoughts on this whole matter of vaccination, and especially mandatory vaccination, as is being put forward in a number of workplaces in recent times. We're going to be hearing much more about it, and we'll continue the dialogue and the discussion so that you can be informed. It's now a minute after the hour of 8 o'clock, and we have a very, very special guest with whom we'll speak. This, by the way, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And this morning we're going to be speaking with a beautiful lady who has, in fact, experienced breast cancer. She's a survivor, and she's also a senior marketing executive, the creator of The Social House. And we know that she's quite a genius when it comes to marketing and communications, but she's a strong woman who has, in fact, survived breast cancer. We're happy to be joined now by Tara Playfair. Good morning, Tara. How are you doing?
Good morning, Richie B. Thanks for having me, and good morning to all the listeners on the Bridge FM this morning.
It's always a pleasure to talk with you, Tara. How have you been keeping? All is well?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Thank you so much for asking.
I thank you for coming on this morning to at least share with us, your journey and allow some strength to others who might be so afflicted. First of all, Tara, when and how did you find out about your situation as it relates to breast cancer?
It's about 5 years ago now, and I found out I always tell people what I did is what you should not do. So I did feel a lump, but I chose to self-diagnose, instead of going to get it checked right away. So I, basically figured it may be, as women will know, closer to that time of month, you may get some little lumps or nodules, but they tend to go away. So I chalked it up to it being that, and then when it didn't go away, I decided to Google and go on WebMD and figured out for myself what it was. It was some fibrous tissue. So I let it go for a couple of months, which you should never do. Never do that. And then eventually I went to the doctor. She sent me for a mammogram. The mammogram technologist then told me, it's best that I do a biopsy. I was a little shocked by everything because in my head I'd already chalked it up to being something other than breast cancer.
Yes.
So when I did the biopsy, I actually left Jamaica to work for a client on a diaspora tour and came back a month later. And that's when I went to the doctor to pick up my results, again, not thinking it was anything. And when she told me, breast cancer, I legitimately believe I left my body. I didn't hear anything else. I don't recall the rest of the conversation. And then, I eventually, came back in a blur, and I asked her to look at the paper myself.
Yes.
And, I read it, and I saw where it said, definitely that this was breast cancer. And then I don't remember getting home. I went to bed thinking, it's a bad dream. This is real. And, when you wake up, it's going to be different. It obviously was not. And I called a friend, and we went for a drive to talk and kind of, figure out what was this. It was very jarring, obviously, something you're not expecting. And I do want to let women know, do not be confined to think that, okay, you must be 50 or over 40 or, have a history of breast cancer or cancer in your family, or you're living some kind of unhealthy lifestyle and it can't happen to you. It can.
It can. Yes. Tara, I'm really listening to you very deeply, and I want to ask you now. When did you develop this kind of fight mode now? Like, hey, I've now accepted that it is a fact. I'm going to fight this, and how did that come about?
Right, and I'm glad you asked that, Richie B, because I think a lot of getting through anything, whether it's breast cancer or any illness you may have, it has a lot of it has to do with how you approach it mentally. And so when we went for the drive, and the person said to me, come on, Tara, this is a bump in the road. This doesn't mean that your life is over. It's almost like something snapped in me. And I was like, okay, you're right. Let me get all the information I need. So when we got back to Kingston, I made an appointment the next day. I went back to the same doctor, and I said, okay, tell me now, what does this mean? What are my options? What are my choices? What does this mean? What stage am I in? Because, there are different stages to breast cancer. And then I also found out there are different types of breast cancer. I thought breast cancer was just one thing. There are many types of breast cancer. And so you have to also get that same biopsy that you do. You get that sent in Jamaica. You get it sent away to diagnose the type of breast cancer you have, and then that tells you the kind of treatment. So once I got all my information, I just began to plan. This is what I need to do. How long do I have to do it for? And I mapped everything out.
Oh.
It may sound a little crazy, but for me, that's what worked.
What was
what I had to do, making a checklist,
yes,
following that, getting all the information, the cost, how long, where, what's the best doctor, who is the best oncologist, what should I do, And also researching and talking, to persons and finding out what may be the best course of action. For some persons, some doctors want you to do your chemotherapy first, reduce the size of the lump, and then do your surgery. Some doctors want to do the surgery first, then do your chemotherapy after. You have to figure out what works for you, what's right for you, for your body, and also follow, your doctor's instructions.
Yeah, let me ask you
they
too.
Know best.
What would you say was the most challenging part of the entire treatment process for you?
That's an excellent question, Richie. So, to be honest, I put it out of my mind as an issue. Like, I'm going to die, I'm sick. I never thought of it that way. And I also told very few people, because I didn't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I didn't want anybody to, say, oh, my God, because I just wanted to focus.
Yes.
But for me, I think the two things that hit me the most was finding out that I was triple negative. Remember I told you there are many kinds of breast cancer?
Yes, you did.
Right. So there are some that are brought on by hormones, right, which you can then have a treatment with a hormone treatment, which gives you almost like an extra layer of protection, so to speak, or a way of fighting. But triple negative, which is actually the most common in women of color, African descent, is the most aggressive type of breast cancer. And you cannot treat it with anything except for chemotherapy. So that's when I found out that was really shattering for me. And then I think the hardest part was going through the chemotherapy, really. You have a lot of losses, you lose your hair, it has an effect on any area of your body that has fast-growing cells, so cells that grow in your mouth, your fingernails, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your hair, anywhere cells move very quickly, because cancer cells, reproduce themselves quickly. So the aim of the treatment is to go to those kinds of cells very fast. So, it has a lot of different effects on you, loss of appetite. I had terrible insomnia, so I was awake for sometimes 48 hours at a time, unable to sleep. But I just put it out of my head, and I continued to work, and luckily at that time, my clients allowed me to work remotely. And, it took my mind away from being quote unquote sick.
Yeah.
And that's important, I think.
This is such a fascinating story. And here you are. You are now a survivor, thankfully. And you are, yes, God is indeed good, Tara. And it seems you're now sort of using that experience to help to sensitize other women about breast cancer. Is that what you're onto?
Absolutely. And when I came back from treatment and I felt comfortable talking about it,
yes,
I decided I definitely wanted to do that, because I myself didn't think it could happen to me. So I realized there must be other women who think the same way, and that has proven to be true. I get messages all the time. Women were fearful of going to do a mammogram, or just put it off because, hey, I'm 30-something. What's the point? Or I'm about to be 40. It's not a big deal. I don't have a history. Also, a lot of women are fearful to learn the results. But it's better that you catch it early than, you wait. So, the earlier you catch it, the better it is for you. And, as I said to you earlier when we started speaking, I really do not want women and men, because men can get breast cancer as well,
yes,
to fall into that, I don't fit into those, I don't check those boxes. So I'm only 20, I'm only 27. I actually got a call last week from someone whose coworker is 26, and she has breast cancer in both breasts. It is possible to have breast cancer at an early age.
Yes,
but continue to check yourself.
Absolutely. For a young person or anyone listening right now, a woman maybe who has just discovered or learned that she has breast cancer, what would you say to such a person this morning?
It is not a death sentence. You need to just get onto your treatment very, very quickly, especially if you've done a biopsy. Try to map out what you need to do within a few weeks of that and just get going on it. Keep your mind and positive and keep people who are positive around you. Just keep doing the things that you would normally do. You know, if you can't keep going to work, keep going to work. If you do the things, hang out with your friends, you know, continue to be normal. It doesn't mean that your whole life is over or you have to change your whole life now and, you know, relegate yourself to being in a place where it's depressing. Mm-hmm. It is a horrible place to be in. Absolutely it is. But you can get yourself out of it.
Yes.
Get your treatment, get your mind right, continue to focus. Of course, change your eating habits. We know that cancer, and actually most illnesses are attracted to sugar. Mm-hmm. You know, so try to eliminate those things out of your diet. You know, focus on being as healthy as you can be through this. Lots of water, of course, and coconut water and things like that. You know, your guinea hen weed and all of those great things, soursop leaf, all of the wonderful things we have access to in Jamaica that a lot of people end up importing for themselves because they don't have it where they are, and we do have it here. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Easier and readily available. So is the social house also keeping you busy?
Yes, definitely, and we're ready for season 2. Doesn't the Bridge FM want to come on?
You know something? We're going to be talking more about that for sure. We would love to. Anything to partner with you. But thank you so much. I'm sure that many were inspired by our deliberations with you this morning, and we're proud of you. Thank you so much, Tyra. Have a great day and be safe.
And let me say one more thing. Ladies, yes. I know that mammograms can tend to be expensive.
And painful, I'm told, by women.
Yes, it can be painful, but it's short-lived. It's short-lived, and it's worth it.
Yes.
Please get your mammograms once you definitely hit 40. The Jamaica Cancer Society also does mammograms, and they can tend to be a bit less expensive. So, you know, sometimes the heart is willing, but the pocket isn't. Mm-hmm. So, you know, please do check them out if you do need to do a mammogram. And I also have a fund at the Jamaica Cancer Society for women who aren't able to afford mammograms.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for putting that forward. All right. Thank you so much, Tara. Take good care of yourself, and we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Talk soon.
Have
a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Right.
Wow. What an inspirational story. Tara Playfair, ladies and gentlemen. She was my guest. And she's a breast cancer survivor, the creator of The Social House, and a senior marketing executive, has worked on some big projects through the years and still continues so to do. Big up yourself, Tara. We decided to take a chance and surprise him, and he has surprised us by accepting the invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, his middle name is actually my first name. How many of you knew that? He was born on the 22nd of October, 1968. He's one of the most successful Jamaican artists living, and a man that we are awfully proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in the simulcast, the birthday boy, the one and only Shaggy! Morning, Shaggy!
Morning, Richie. Morning. Much love. Respect, sir.
Happy birthday to you. DJ Roy is on the line as well, your brethren.
Yeah, Mr. Say, Mr. Say, yeah, he age me up, but it's all right.
We have to accept it. You know how it is.
Big up my New York friend, DJ Roy. We know say you're on a visa. But much love and respect. Eh?
See, Richie, that's why you can't make people know your business.
Trust me.
Yeah, and I said this on the air a lot. I know a lot of artists, but I have few artist friends, and I am a friend of Shaggy's. When someone calls you on your birthday, calls you on Thanksgiving, calls you on the holidays just to say hi, or just call me in 6 o'clock in the morning just to wake me up because I have an idea. He's got to be a friend.
No, but I call him in the morning early and tell him, say, yo, we have to sleep. Rich people not sleep. Let's go. Let's go. Get up and go. It's time to sleep when you're dead. Let's go.
Well, Shaggy, that's a clear indication of your attitude towards work and business and your career. You have maintained that all this time.
You know what? When you do what you enjoy, you cannot call it work. Mm-hmm. You know, it is easy for you, Richie B. We don't say you're doing gas station. You probably have a lot of properties and you're a smart enough person to have certain investments already at the age that you are. But you're still on the radio because it's something that you love, you enjoy.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So when you really can't call what you're doing on the radio work because you enjoy it that much.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So music is something that I enjoy. I enjoy the game of it. I enjoy the strategy of it. I enjoy when there's a problem that I try to find ways to solve it and go around it. I enjoy coming up with things where people don't see where I'm coming from or people can't imagine and fathom, like, wow, I never imagined that working. And then it works. It's more satisfying than even monetary gain, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's a very important point that you just made, and we see it reflected in all that you do. I mean, we were surprised the other day when you managed to sort of broker a deal and settle things between, say, Spice and the VP Records, and the next thing we know, you're the executive producer for the album 10 from Spice.
Yeah, it's because no one would see that coming. When I was dealing with her, well, for people, even some of my close people are asking me, why am I dealing with Spice? Why am I doing that? Right. Spice is so this, Spice is so that. She's so raw. She's this. You know, a lot of people, because of my branding, take, for instance, branding in Jamaica, there was a lot of corporate entity that would never use Spice's branding. Now everybody uses Spice's branding. Mm-hmm. You know, you're seeing Digital use brand. You're seeing everybody. And it was hypocritical in a lot of ways because if you look at Cardi B and then you look on Spice, what's the difference in content? It's the same content, but yet still Cardi B is on the Super Bowl, which is a family program. Mm-hmm. But yet still we in Jamaica and the corporate entity would not use Spice to brand their thing. It's really, but they'd use a Cardi B in 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's hypocritical.
It is.
You know what I mean? So when I'm marketing or doing a Spice's project, it's not just her breaking out. It's me trying to break a mold that I might see that needs to be broken across the board. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Very well. She's actually making, as we talk about Spice, she's making a presentation for Flow today sometime, and that is something that a lot of people are anticipating. And Shaggy Roy, he remains motivated all through. I mean, he always has something that he's working on or toward, and very often they are successful projects.
Yeah, what I love about Shaggy also, he's always looking for what next, not just for him, but for the music, for the genre. You know, young and upcoming talented artists, he will nurture them. He will guide them in the right direction. He'll take time out of his busy schedule to talk to them and say, you have the potential. These are the things you can do to elevate yourself. So, you know, one of the things that's missing in our music, we don't have enough Shaggies. We need some more Shaggies.
Well, give thanks. Yeah. Give thanks. But, my grandmother always tell me something that she said, if it's not a win-win, it's a bad idea. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if I can't see a win for the culture as well as a win for me, if it's just a win for me and no one else around me is winning, then we're not winning. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So everything that I come up with, when I decided to go with Sting, everybody's wondering what am I doing with this 60-odd-year-old rocker. No one could see where I'm going with that, but I already had that vision and knew what it was, and I knew how it was going to help the genre. Yeah, right. Take, for instance, just the people who do, you might say I'm on, Popcorn might watch with the Drake, or I'm on doing up with Meek Mills, or this and that and that. These guys are getting a song with these guys, and they might get a point or two on it, and they might make some money up front. This is a guy that came in and gave me 50% of the whole album. Wow. Mm-hmm. So talk about giving you your flowers and giving you what you were worth and what they thought you were worth. Yep. This is a guy that sells millions, and he gives you One, he gives you 50% of all of the album and gives you 50% of all of the tour.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then give you 50% of all the merch. You know what I mean? So in going through all of it, you realize that he wasn't just coming and say, okay, I'm going to tap into the culture, and here you are. We're going to give you a point on one song, or 2 points on one song, or 4 points on one song, and we're going to give you here is $20,000, and we might do one show together.
No.
This is the guy that jumped in on the, and that's what it was worth, because that was my worth.
Absolutely.
And so many of us, we have all these people jumping into the culture, taking piece of the culture, creating their own vibe. You see it over and over again. What do we as dancehall artists? How many artists? You know, what is their publishing? How much artists is going to have money that they could put away to make generational wealth? That isn't happening.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Clearly.
So we. And a lot of them are scared. Back in the days, if Chris Blackwell tell a man say he could have own in music, they probably wouldn't want to listen because they just want to check. And I say, yeah, I don't want the points, I don't want to check, I don't want to own none of my master. Yeah, what? Cut that money off of me. See, they're not trying to get a piece of ownership. I saw the other day with Usain Bolt was having a conversation, and I'm saying, yeah, some of these deals I'm not even taking money up front. I'm taking equity.
Yeah, a slice of
right?
Yeah.
But even back in the days when people were telling them they could have taken equity, they just seen the money. And why they see it? Because no one has ever done it before them. How did Jay-Z and these guys? Somebody started doing it and let Jay-Z and these guys know that they could own. You get what I'm saying?
Clearly, yeah.
So that's what it really boils down to at the end of the day. Somebody has to do it from this side that look like them, like move like them. You know what I mean? When you look at Spice, you know, she is the epitome of what it is. You know what I mean? She's from the core. She had this. She had dancehall, and she's a businesswoman. I mean, I don't want to talk Spice's business, but what she's doing for Flow, she's the right person, because you didn't even understand what this woman own and control and do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? She's an incredibly smart person, very smart person. You know what I mean? And I knew this in going through the conversation. I say, I could rock with you because you have a vision of where you want to go. So with somebody like Spice, she just hold on to the coattail and make her do her thing. All I did was I just put a record together and just guide. She was the one that came up with her ideas of what she wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's the type of people you want to partner with people. You know, not micromanage.
Right.
You can't sign the artist and take that. You can't sign the artist and take the art out of the artist. Many
Doesn't
people
work.
do that.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
You know, what is good, Shaggy, is that you are embracing this role of senior statesman in the industry, and we see you as an asset, and we're really. I mean, every time we have a conversation, you make these kinds of points, and you're passionate about it, actually, and we appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? Because people, especially the younger generation coming up, they need to know. But we don't want to talk today on your birthday about all of that. We want to find out what's the day looking like for Shaggy on your birthday today. What you up to, brother?
I just want to be surrounded with friends and family and people who are in my close circle that I have love for, that have love for me, and that is all it is. You know, I've had, when you look by your life, where you come from, when you come from out of Raytown in a tenement yard, and I see it, and to where I am right now, life has been incredibly, incredibly good to me. And gratitude is something you must not go a day without focusing on. And I look at my family, I look at my daughters, I look at my sons. They're all with me today.
Great.
I look at my wife, you know, who's the rock of my whole world. And I look at the whole thing and just say, yo, I'm blessed. And I have a few friends. My circle has gotten, like Roy my circle has gotten a lot smaller. But I tell you what, the smaller your circle is, the better you will be able to function. I will.
Well, listen, big ups to Rebecca and the rest of the family. And Shaggy, we just want to take time out to say happy Earth Strong. Have a great day today. And, you know, do what you want to do. Have some fun. And all the best going forward.
Hey, we work hard and play hard.
We know that.
We work hard and play hard. Yeah, but we're not spare no expense nor time for what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy ourselves within the reason of the laws and of course the COVID protocol.
Without a doubt. As a parting shot, leave us with what's coming next for you on any level whatsoever. I'm
working on. First of all, I go back in the studio with Spice probably around middle of November. That is one. The next thing I'm doing, there's an artist called Dasha Polanka that I'm working with. And we're working on that project. And there's a completion of a new Shaggy album that I'm working on. So there are a couple of things. There's a lot of things. Of course, my Chris album will come up. We've added 4 new tracks of it. Sting is now on that album with me. I got Bungie Garland on that album too. And so there's 4. The same Christmas album, we're remarketing, repackaging. Now you'll be able to get CDs and all of and physicals and vinyls and stuff like that. It's coming through BMG. We're securing up the market. Big up Sharon Burke, who's leading the campaign on that here. And we're getting ready to do that with 4 new tracks on it. And we got a lot of television slated. We got, well, I don't want to put them out there because, but there's, my things to you.
Yeah, what?
I'll be plastered all over the place for Christmas, put it this way.
Why not, Shaggy? Why not? Go for it, bro. Listen, man, we're proud of you.
It's a Christmas reggae dancehall album.
Yeah.
And it is promoting the culture, and I try to get it promoted on every platform that we can.
All right.
So
we're here to give support as usual. Enough love. Enjoy. Happy Earth Strong.
All right, Richie. Give thanks. Later, right.
Much love, my brother.
And we know what that later mean,
Well, I won't be flying into Jamaica.
Yeah, that was really good on Shaggy's birthday that we actually managed to track him down, get him on here, eh?
Yeah, and like I said, he's one of the few artists that answers his phone no matter what day it is. He answers, and wherever he's in the world, he answers his phone.
Big up once again, Sharon Burke. Thanks for your help as usual. 14 now before the hour of 10 o'clock. We're on a local break. We'll be right back.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.